And we're live. Joe, howdy.
Hey, buddy.
How are you, man? I am awesome. I am awesome. Do you want me to tell you about all the things I can't tell you about my interview from last night with Alchemix? You want to jump into some DJ and APYs on QuickSwap?
Let's talk about some of the secret alpha
that I can't talk about.
That you can't talk about. Yeah. No, share what you can share.
I can share only my impressions. I can tell you that tomorrow the details of version 2 of Alchemix are coming out, and my 2-hour podcast interview with Scoopy Trooples, deep diving into all of the details of that platform, is going to come out at 11 o'clock because there is an embargo on the details until that time. But I, as an investor in Alchemix, I am incredibly excited, and I have further increased my position in the project since that interview. My wife said, "Is that insider trading?" I said, "It's not a stock, dear." He's talked about a lot of this already. But I will tell you that many of the things I hope for this project are coming, that I believe will dramatically expand its reach in DeFi and outside of DeFi. And there are things that I never imagined being built that will come to the project in this new version. And next year is going to be an amazing year for Alchemix. I feel very good about just hanging in there for the long haul. You know, their APY on their single token staking is like 60, where are we at today? 60 something percent, 61, 62, something like that. And so there are other places I could have removed and placed funds into, and I'm incredibly glad I have not done that. So.
Yeah, no, I remember when I think you told me about these guys about 6 months ago. And I remember going in and playing with them. And just to remind everybody, this is sort of a staking platform like Aave and all these other plays. But they pay the loan back for you.
Yeah, this is self-paying, there's no liquidations loans. So you want to buy a Tesla, let's say it's 60 grand, you deposit 120 grand, you take 60 grand out. They take your 120 grand and put it in some nice conservative vaults for now. And then they take the yield from those vaults and pay off the 60,000 you took out. So at the end of the day, your Tesla cost, and there's no interest on the loans. And at the end of the day, your Tesla cost you nothing. Takes a few years at the current rates where they are. But that also is going to change. So
payoffs are going to, your gut feeling is that the payoffs are going to accelerate?
How do I answer that question without?
I think we know the answer already. You don't need to answer it.
I think there will be an expansion of opportunities. Let's put it that way. So
I've always loved this play, and aren't they doing a lot of stuff with Ohm now, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, well, so they're moving into the bonding. We talked a lot about that last night. We talked about what I am, the interviews I do are with projects that are by luck, really, or how I pick them, but are projects who are really thinking big picture, right? And Scoopy's one of those people, man. He is thinking, how can we stabilize this mess? How can we make it so that we're not having these big peaks and valleys? Is liquidity mining really the optimal way long-term for any project to grow? Or are there better ways? And so the Olympus Pro bonding as a service is really one of the things he thinks that's going to have a dramatic impact. I mean, we talked pretty extensively about that project last night and the brilliance of what they've built. And he believes that a huge number of projects will be on that Bonding Pro service in the future. And he's very excited about it. Their community's very excited about it. They have a number of other really cool partnerships coming up. I learned more about this project Tokamak which also has some very cool stuff. Anyway, there are things like I said, there are
How do you
things.
spell that?
Tokemak, I believe. And that's Alchemix finished second in voting. They also did a really brilliant strategy for getting people on board it. Anyway, some really amazing things coming for that project. And what it bodes for me, tokemak.xyz.
This is Toke. This is Toke. Okay, got it.
Yeah, you talked to me about Toke. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So Alchemix finished second in the race to get the first 5 reactors with Tokamak. And Ohm was there, Sushi, I can't remember who the rest were, but they finished their voting out yesterday.
Those guys are in there?
Oh, Frax, another one I interviewed who's also focused on stable and stability. Tracer, which I'm not very familiar with, Ohm, Olympus DAO, and Sushi finished in the top 5 to get reactors. Anyway, just an amazing interview. I was, I've had some really great interviews with people, Zeus from Olympus and some other folks, but I'm seeing a trend of founders who are really serious about DeFi and really serious about the ecosystem, who are doing deep thinking and deep partnerships about what they have to do to stabilize things. And he really loves the bonding. So that partnership's there. Frax is always in the mix. Frax is partnering with Ohm and Alchemix. And Frax is an awesome stablecoin project. Sam Kazmian, the guy who founded that, is just brilliant. I interviewed him several weeks ago. I want to get him back on. But they are doing amazing things with that stablecoin, completely algorithmic. Really doing well, running very strong. And I'm almost what I'm kind of seeing here, which is kind of crazy. I'm seeing a lot of these big projects who are forming this kind of informal, they're all feeding each other. They're all playing together. Yeah. Sushi and Alchemix have a partnership. Ohm is doing bonding with a lot of different projects. Frax is being used in bonding on Olympus and being used by Alchemix. I mean, there's this little mini ecosystems that are happening with some of the bigger, more innovative projects that are focused on stabilizing things. So I'm excited.
Yeah, more Keiritsu-like. Yeah, no, that's totally cool.
Keiritsu, perfect word for it.
Yeah.
I worked for a company.
Yeah.
I worked for a company that had Keiritsu as their model, as their management model.
Yeah, no, it's consortiums and partnerships, strategic partnerships, and then synergies across different organizations. Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense. And then with all the cross-chain liquidity stuff coming and all of that, I think you look at like Woo and that we talked about the other day, and these other ones, that's going to create all these like capital efficiency structures amongst all these organizations, and the ability to lay off risk, to amp, juice up returns. All kinds of things you can do that, you can do in the mature capital markets now. Yeah. I think that's where they're all heading. And that's what we need. So, by the way, just real quickly, for anybody who doesn't know about Mission DeFi, why don't you give a quick little 15 seconds on that so the listeners can listen to your podcast? Where do they find them?
Yeah, so a lot of folks are listening to this in the Mission DeFi stream, right? Because I post these episodes every day into the podcast stream. So if you're listening there, you're already at Mission DeFi. Just listen to the rest of the 19 or 20 episodes that are up. I have another 7, 8 now coming out when I find a moment to actually edit. And Mission DeFi is just about profiling innovators in the space. And so we're just plugging away, going through, and frankly, it's like completely selfish on my part because I get a lot of alpha and a lot of information and help me understand these projects better. Plus, it's all I'm all geeked out. So the more I get to play in this space and play with the tech and learn it, the happier I am, and the more money I can make. And so, kind of the goal of DeFi Lunch and the goal of Mission DeFi is, what information can we provide to people that helps them make their own decisions, right? We're not financial advisors, and we're not telling you what to buy. And we're going to talk to you about things that we think are moving the world forward. And we're also going to talk about things that we like to go have fun with and risk a little money and see what happens. So, but that's our money, our own research. You do what you think is best for you. But yeah, so I'm having a blast with it. Been going for a couple of months, and I've been very fortunate to interview some really big brain people in this space. And to me, that's very exciting.
Yeah, well, it gives you the opportunity to get a lot of different perspectives too.
Yeah.
And different thoughts on business models. And when you're so tied into, the intricacies of all these different market leaders, then you start connecting the dots in ways that, wouldn't it be cool if you could do this? And then you start giving alpha back to them.
Yep.
And then, new companies come up and see that as well. So it's all about advancing the space. So yeah, and in line with what Brad said, we're just talking about what we do and how we do it, and, providing ideas for people. But you have to make your own decision. We're all, adults here, and, don't do anything just because we said it.
Yeah.
Because we like it. You have to like it and believe in it.
Definitely. So, definitely not. So what you got lined up for us today, Joe?
I thought we'd hit, a couple of things that I noticed. One, what I call kind of like rollover day. I think it was yesterday, QuickSwap. A lot of these platforms, there's time limits on the pools, and they expire. So you kind of, when you stake a pool, you kind of want to stay on top of that. And, when it expires, then you got to go in and pull your LP tokens out and then restake them in the new pool of the same thing.
Right.
Or, trim your position and go into another one. But stay on top of that. Because what happens when they reload the pools, a lot of people forget about it. And they leave stuff in the old pool, and the new pool kicks out. And it's like yesterday, there was like 20 pools on QuickSwap that had 1 million+ percentage APRs on them.
You mean farms?
Farms. I'm sorry, farms. And there's still a lot that are, in the 5,000% APR up, 100,000. Yep. So when you get in early, those first couple of days, you can pull down serious amounts of rewards. And then, of course, people go, oh, wait, I got to go check that. Yeah, look at that.
Even this, so look at this. I mean, ETH USDC at 86.96%.
Yeah.
Where are you going to get that? That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. So in QuickSwap, some people don't like it. I like it because I can't remember, is it a clone of Uniswap or SushiSwap? I don't really remember which one, but so it's open source code. It's safe. You can see the level of money in these pools. And the APRs or Ys tend to include the transaction fee component too. So some people don't show that as a lump. Things show it as like separate. Some people don't show it. They only show rewards. Yeah. But I've had nothing but good experiences with these pools. Yep. And so, like, if you hit that APY button right in the middle of the screen, press that. Click it.
I did.
And you'll see, so it'll sort, give you the highest ones there. So what I typically do is I look at those and go, do I have any of this stuff in my wallet? Or are any of these tokens things that I was interested in?
Right.
Learning more about. And, sometimes I'll just, ape in with it anyhow just to get the yield.
Yeah.
Even if I don't necessarily know a lot about that token, I'm going to explore it. I'll come in with a position, and if I really like it, I'll put more in.
Yeah.
If I don't like it in a week, I'll pull it out when it gets down to some, kind of.
Speaking of which, I have a little guard sitting in my wallet, and this one's sitting at 71,123%.
Yeah, that's one of mine. I try not to talk about my pools too much, because then I know if there's 50 people coming in behind me, then that APY gets tanked. But I like guard. It's like it's got some interesting angles to it, and so I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
But you get the yield. They pay you in quick, which has been on the move up. If you look at like market cap of QuickSwap or Quick, it's about 150 million, I think.
This is one of the biggest on Polygon, if not the biggest.
Yeah. And so you look at like Uniswap's market cap is 20 billion.
Yeah.
So, I'm like, look, and I think their TVL it's billions on the Polygon side of QuickSwap. So, it's one that, I kind of go in and out of the token because a lot of people I know got it.
118 million volume in the last 24 hours on QuickSwap.
Can you see TVL by any chance?
They don't show it. Let's see if they show it inside the profile. No.
But so it's not a bad token to get, particularly in Pumptober or Uptober going forward. It's something that people look and they look at all the other farms and they're like, the institutional guys, let's say the higher weight swingers, this is kind of like a real stable one.
Yeah.
So I always go in there. Now you can do this at all the platforms. So they do have rollover day, like a lot of the stuff on Define. I think a lot of that's rolling over in like 15 days. There's some rolling over in 7, and then some later on. But just keep track of that, because if you watch those clocks, then you can get in early when everybody hasn't figured out or forgot the pool expired. And then, it takes them a couple of days, they figure it out, and then the yields go down. But meanwhile, you've been stacking whatever token you're getting. And, Define is, in the 50, 60 cent range, 48, 49, I don't know, something like that. But Quick is like 420, 430 right now. So if you're pulling down like 0.05 Quick a day on that pool, you're looking at what, 20, 22-ish a day, and, for that amount. Obviously, you put more in, you get more. But I don't really hold a lot of Quick. I tend to sell it into the other token.
Look, I think they've done a great job of across all dexes, they're number 16 on CoinGecko, and that's in terms of volume. What I don't understand is why I can't see TVL per exchange. Neither of them offers this, which is strange. This is interesting.
Where you can find it? CoinGecko.
I'm on CoinGecko.
Oh, really? I'm not on all the exchanges. I just go, let's see, Quick Swap. Let me see. And then if you scroll down below on the left,
which just on the Quick Swap page
goes market cap, 24-hour volume, fully diluted valuation, total value lock. So they got 700 million.
That's the coin. Where are you?
Right there. Go right there in the middle. Look at that little column below price.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, is that for the exchange or is that in Quick pairs in the liquidity pools? Because this is the token. And if you go to Quick Swap, the exchange.
Capital deposit into the platform in the form of loan collateral or liquidity trading pool.
Okay. Okay, cool.
That's coming,
so 700 million. Okay.
DeFi. It's coming from DeFi Llama.
Yeah, got it. Okay, beautiful. So
so that's one when you look at.
I think that's an important lesson, though, that you're pointing out is, look, these things reset once a week, usually. Same with Cometh, same with everything else. And when they open, there are some large percentage gains to be had for, short periods of time, but sometimes can be a few days.
Yeah. So, get those entries to your calendar and just rotate. Yep. So I did some stuff on there today. And then the other thing I've been noticing the last day or so is that, Phantom, FTM, another layer 1, has been going through the roof.
And
everything's moving.
They're a great project. I love that project.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I jumped into, a bunch of the Spell token and actually the Spirit token. I moved my stuff off of Spooky Swap into Spirit Swap just because I heard something in one of the channels that some big marketing consultant type person or investor is now at Spirit Swap. And I think it was Danielle or Daniela or something like that. And everybody was saying it's a game changer. So, it was 24 cents when I was looking at it when it was 17, going, I'm going to stay at Boo and Spooky Swap. And then I saw it go to 24 and I'm kind of like, maybe I'll start shifting over. And now it's at 2 days later or 36 hours later, it's at 48.
Nice.
So, I think we get a couple of things going on where, if you look at their, Spooky Swap has more TVL, but Spirit Swap's catching up. It also has that lower token price. A lot of people don't really look at market cap or how many tokens, so tokenomics. They just go, oh, well, that one's 18 and this one's 25 cents. I'm going to buy this one. But, there's Spooky Swap has a much lower amount of tokens issued. They're the higher price. But, people still sometimes think that way. So I jumped in there, and I think I'm in a Spirit FTM pool. Switch over here real quick, and that's getting a couple 200 and something percent. And then I'm in like a spell, USDT pool for a couple 100%, I believe. And then I'm in their a boosted pool that they have, which is, getting this up real quick. Spirit, where are you? There you are. And so the interesting thing too is that, you can do some bridging in here pretty cheap. But, I was back looking at the bridge on Spooky Swap, and that's a better bridge. You can go Polygon to FTM, you can go BSC, HECO, you can go to ETH. And, we don't, if you're already on Polygon, you want to go from there to Phantom because you don't want to be paying the ETH gas fees. So it's good to know where the bridges are that work. So, so I'm in a USDC FTM pool. You know how I like pairing with stables at 219%. APR, and it's paying out in Spirit, which is what I want to accumulate right now, just like I did with Define, because I believe it's going somewhere, and maybe it's $10, maybe it's $5, maybe it's more, I don't know. And then I'm also paired up in the Spell FUSDT, which is their Phantom USDT token.
Okay,
it's paying 298%, and there's there's 4.3 million in that pool, and also in the USDC FTM pool, there's 24 million in that one.
Wow.
So, these are real pools. That's the other thing you want to look at is, how much is in there for the listeners. And then I'm in a boosted pool, Spirit FTM, which has 47 million in that pool. And, I'm not boosted, but I'm getting 109% there and earning Spirit. So everything earns Spirit. I think that can go somewhere. So I'm playing in there. And now look, Spirit's now up to 50 cents. I got in at, like I said, 24, and I bought more at 28. But that was, I think, yesterday.
Right.
This stuff moves so fast, I can't keep track of it all. So, I say, we talked about the BTC Maxis yesterday. I'm like, so they're all going to throw in at 50 grand and go to 100 and double it. Well, I just did that in 36 hours.
Hey, have you seen... We've talked about Beefy Finance privately before, but looks like Spirit has an integration with them for the automated. That's automated yield, right? On that in Beefy, yes. And they just take a fee on that, but that saves you a lot of hassle.
Well, those are all. I mean, I tend to like to do it myself for the most part, but those are great when you're going on vacation,
right?
And you don't want to think about it. Just dump whatever you can move into stable pools and just park it and forget it. But if you could do that in an auto compounding pool, it's even better.
Yeah.
So you take your 2-week vacation, you come back, and it's like, oh wow, there's $9 grand sitting there.
Yeah.
that I made that I didn't even think about. So,
speaking of swaps, I've been using a swap from Biconomy, but the other day I started playing around with AnySwap, and it's really good. I've been very pleased with the bridging power and all of the networks that they're on. So
the
anybody
AnySwap cross-chain protocol.
Yep. This is not financial advice, but it has worked very well for me personally as I make my own personal financial decisions. But you've got everything. You've got Phantom, BSC, FSN, ETH, Matic, Polygon, HECO, AVAX or Avalanche, XDAI, Arbitrum, and all of these others. I guess that's Harmony, one mainnet.
Hey, question: Is this tied to Define at all? Is this the router token?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just called a router. It says this is created by Fusion DCRM. I have no idea what that is.
Oh yeah.
Or powered by Fusion DCRM. There's like zero information here on the site though. That's a little scary. Looks like they have a DAO. Yeah. There's governance.
Yeah, the bridges are,
It's scary. The first couple of times you do it, man, it's like, is it going to get stuck?
Well, and also there's been, these bridge hacks too. So, and so say, there's also an angle about front running, I believe, and then hijacking. So it's important to really dig in onto, test it, small amounts, make sure it's all good, particularly something new. Like I haven't even seen this one, but it looks cool. I like the layout. It's simple.
It's worked flawlessly for me. So I've been very pleased with it.
Yeah, and they got documents. Let's see what we got down here. Maybe we have some people in here. Let me see. Hey, okay, launches on Wobi, EcoChain, Christmas Finance. So they look like they're tied to a lot of people. Okay, examples I've used, downloads, how to vote, how to set up. Is this a DAO? Did you say
looks like it? They have governance built in here. It looks like people can vote on networks and projects, I guess.
Yeah, so here's an interesting thing. So they're doing Phantom, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Fusion. So I guess Fusion must be another, layer one of some type.
I guess.
But never heard of it either. But the thing is, so you could go if you're on Polygon, you don't see that here, obviously, but you could bridge in through Spooky Swap into Phantom and then go from Phantom to Binance Smart Chain.
Yep.
Binance Smart Chain that can go direct to Polygon, if I'm not mistaken. But you find these combinations of things, so you stay off the Ethereum layer one, so you don't get destroyed on gas fees.
Yep.
And move around the other chains that way. Once you're in there, then you can move pretty quickly. And there's lots of stuff on Binance Smart Chain that you don't see anywhere else. It does tend to have more. I'm not saying this in a negative way, maybe, I guess, but it does tend to have more rug pulls than anyone else out there. So definitely be careful on Binance Smart Chain. And
look,
I
think
know if that's restricted at all or anything like that.
I think the scams go there because they know that a big chunk of the folks that are in BSC came from being retail traders in Binance itself, Binance.com. And so there's a massive population of smaller. If you look at the data, this was a couple of months ago, I was looking at the data, but comparing Binance and BSC, Polygon, and Ethereum. And by far at the time, and I think Polygon's probably got more now, but at the time, Binance had the largest number of small trades and small traders and small wallets on it, despite and still having huge amounts of volume. And I think that's what scammers look for, is people who are not as savvy and not as experienced. So it's a lot easier to go in there and have a huge number of people that you can have ape into your project and then burn them and run. So the other interesting thing about the rugs is it's the ecosystem is making it more and more difficult to do something with the money you get, right? If you rug out $20 million or $100 million from a project, you have a big problem because you've got to figure out how the hell to cash that out. And it's no longer that easy, right? There are anonymizers like Tornado Cash and others that you can dump tokens into and clean them up and bring them back out. But, it is not an easy thing. And all the centralized exchanges are kind of grouped together to block wallets. So, it doesn't mean people get their money back, but there is the potential. For example, what was the one? What was the hack? There was a hack a few weeks ago, and the guy had his money. It wasn't easy. Anyway, the hacker actually started communicating with the project through the blockchain, and
he gave it back.
He gave it back.
Gave it all back? Yeah.
Right, and he was awarded. They gave him a cut, right? Because he found a hole, right? It was like a bug bounty, just in reverse. He stole all the money, and then we don't want to reward that behavior because we don't want people to panic and destroy a project because somebody hacks it all out. But it's interesting that he made that choice to do that. And I have a feeling a big part of it was they made it very clear publicly. They were tracking the wallets. They had notified all the central exchanges. Cashing out was going to be very difficult. And it was going to be really tough to wash that money out and get it out. And I think that's another thing that the ecosystem is doing to police itself. So we'll see.
Well,
I interviewed.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, real quick. I interviewed the founder of Immunify, which is the largest provider of bug bounties for projects. And, they have a ton of folks who are earning significant money finding bugs for projects. And that's all they do all day, right? So they get the 50 grand, whatever. The guy who found the bug for Sushi Miso's bug that had $300 million in danger. Sushi gave him $1 million for finding the bug, right? And so there's a lot of money to be made making the ecosystem safer. And that's the whole point, is when incentives align, you get something better out of it. So hopefully we'll see less and less.
Yeah, no, I think that, the white hat hacker kind of movement is, been around in other areas for a while, to probe and test security and all these different things. I thought I read with that particular, and I can't remember which one it was either, but that, he had been trying to, a lot of these guys are super smart, super introverted, and, want to find the problem. And he was supposedly trying to tell them about it, but they were ignoring him. And so he was like, okay, you're going to ignore me. And he just took it all. And he goes, see, I told you. And so then they were appealing to him to, like you said, to return it, and he communicated and returned it, because I think he was more of a ego-driven play, in the sense that he wanted to be right.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't want to steal the money from people per se. But then I think all the other infrastructure things you talk about play into it. So like all those, tumblers or anonymizers or whatever, to me, I mean, God, if I was the authorities, I would set those up all over the place as honey traps.
Right.
And then when people come in and start sweeping the money in, I'd be like logging everything. And then, how do you know it's coming out the other end?
Exactly.
It's like,
exactly.
You certainly know what wallet it went to, and then you can blacklist that wallet too.
Yep.
So I'd be real careful on those services, because you don't really know.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So
yeah,
is
absolutely.
It criminal or is it regulatory? You just don't know.
Yep, absolutely.
But I get why they're there too. So
yeah. What else you got going?
So we've covered Phantom, and by the way, Phantom's up too. I think that's getting close to 2 again.
Nice.
I got into Phantom at like 90 cents, I believe, but it's hard for me to track prices now, because I get so many rewards that like 0 cost, and put them in, and it's kind of like after a while I just stop. I'm probably at like 60 cents on that, really, not 90, but
right.
It's at $1.92.
Nice.
Spell's up from 9.7 yet. 0.97 yesterday to 1.26 today. Spirits at 47. Routes making a move, which was a super mesh with Define. Define's kind of in a really good 56.8 cents. It's a good place to acquire or accumulate. So the other thing we want to talk about is that, and this is just a little thing I noticed, that Aave added they had like layer 1 and then I guess a V3 and then or V1, V2, I can't remember, and then Polygon, and they just added AVAX or Avalanche recently to that. So
yeah,
you have another way to get.
Well, they get big incentives. They get big incentives. All those projects, Phantom, Avalanche, all of them are offering big cuts of volume-based revenue to the projects to get the big ones on. So they'll make bank. The project will make bank from moving on to those platforms, and most of them are EVM compatible, so it's not a lot of work.
Right. And then you get access to a whole bunch of other potential funders.
Exactly. You move people into the ecosystem. Aave is building a social media network.
Really?
Yeah, they are building a social media network. And that's very interesting to me. Stanny, one of the founders, agreed to an interview, and now I'm getting ghosted. So,
Yeah, well, that stuff happens. Everybody's busy,
Yeah, I might just do a whole show talking about Aave, and hopefully it'll be all positive. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. He seems like a very nice but busy man.
It's my go-to place for, deposits, So
I have never done anything on Aave.
Well, it has a lower LTV ratio. I think you can take 50%, which on a lot of other ones you can take 85%.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I'd want 85, but I just like the stability of Aave with, it's 14 billion in TVL and that, I just don't feel like I have to worry about anything with it.
Yeah.
As long as you, don't take yourself to the edge of the liquidation threshold.
Yeah.
I leave a lot of room there, and that's where I borrow stables to go, sink into these like million plus percentage APY pools.
So when you want to ape in on something, you just you go borrow against it and then bring it back in.
Yeah, well, on Aave right now, you can borrow USDC DAI or USDT of stables. I believe it's just those three right now. But most of them, you're actually paying more interest than you're getting in rewards. But with USDT, and you have to check because it changes sometimes. I think you pay the platform maybe 3% or so to borrow USDT, but you're getting a mathematic rewards of like 4.6. So I'm like, so they're paying you 1.6 to like take the money.
Right.
So I'm like, why not? I mean, I saw there's another one on layer 1. I don't do a lot in anymore, but drops or DOP is a token. It's a NFT staking platform. I'm trying to get there where you could yield farm and do stuff with NFTs. But they had something where, and I used this. It's just it's so expensive on layer 1 to do these moves that I have shied away from it. But you could borrow, I think, 50% of the staked amount in USDT. And I think the reward coming from in their token was like, you're paying 3% interest and getting 34% reward.
Damn.
So, you're getting paid 31%.
That's beautiful to borrow the money. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
You just have to, but unfortunately you can't do all the tricks on layer 1 that we can do on these, layer 2 and other chains because it's just too expensive. So I kind of stopped there.
Hey, when did we ape into these crystal mines?
I think it was a couple days ago.
Yeah, so about 3,900 in on the Azuki Matic pool and $256 in a couple of days. So that's like 6.6% gain in a couple of days, just stacking these crystal rewards.
Yeah, let me, I'm pulling that one up because I was in crystal, there we are. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I went into the Matic Azuki pool. That's right. And, I'm not restaking that one. I'm just taking the crystal and then putting it in the auto pool.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
So what I put into the Azuki Matic, I'm up like, I put in like 3,700, I think, ish, and I'm at like over 4 on that in a couple of days. But I'm pulling down like, I think about $65-$70 a day in crystal.
Yeah.
And then I'm taking that over to the pool, that top one, auto crystal, and I'm just dumping it in there at another 468%.
Yeah, that's
So that's just pure rewards. All my crystal came from that other pool, and I'm up to 421 crystal, or like almost $300 in that pool.
Yeah.
So that's 10% reward on top. I mean, in 3 days or whatever it's been, on top of the yield you're getting, in the actual liquidity pool.
Right.
So I'm happy with this one. Now I don't remember what their TVL is, maybe 150, but that's fine. That doesn't worry me. I'm just as long as it's not like 100,000. Now I have been in some of those too.
Sure.
But like
the crystal staked here alone in this pool is worth, what is that, 1.4 million, 1.5 million if it's 64 cents today. So
yeah, I see almost 2 million crystal, 1.9 million.
Yeah.
So, and that's just one of them. They have they got some other stuff in here. Where was I? Oh yeah, I'm just looking at staked only. Sorry. So, I see you can earn. There's a whole bunch of other crystal in these other pools, like the manual crystal has another 1.267 million crystal, 177% APR. You can earn Banana, which is the Ape Swap token, I believe. There's 85,000 crystal there. That's getting like 200 plus. You can earn Solana. You can earn E8. You can earn CRV, Curve. You can earn Mana, which is a big kind of like gaming play. You can earn Wrap BTC, AXS, Azuki, Collar, Polydoge, which I have a couple billion of those, I think, but it's 10 cents maybe. It was one of those apes where I jumped in and I jumped in at like, I don't know, 20 cents, and it ran up to like a couple bucks, and I dumped most of it.
Yeah.
I had some in a pool, and when it started going down, I started getting more tokens. So that's how I ended up with so many. But, that's one that I would stay away from, right?
Look at Shiba, number 20 in market cap.
Yeah, that kind of stuff just, I'm not a big dog coin guy, so Doge, Shiba, all that crap. To me, I don't touch it.
Yeah, except for Poly Doge.
But hey, man, they had this white boy rapper, Bart, and all his audience was China. So it was like everybody's waiting for the rap to come out. He's got like a bunch of Chinese girls on a Lambo or something like that. And nobody in America knows who he is.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, who's that? And but it was pumping. He pumped it. And
look at this. Shiba's number one on Binance in volume, 5.7 billion.
Yeah. I think, this is like, to me, I don't know if they have a use case at all going forward. I know Doge
it's just like Doge.
But Doge is making talk of trying to do something at least.
Yeah. I think, well, they do a lot of charity.
Did Tesla start taking Doge?
I haven't heard anything about it since he threatened it.
Yeah. So, but to me, that's just straight up gambling.
Yeah.
We talk about DJ, but we try to pick projects and stuff. But I think, there's no fundamentals behind either of those at all. It's just you're just trying to get behind the momentum of it, which way it's going. So,
yeah,
I would always be super careful with that stuff. I don't know if it go to zero, but
here's a great indicator. Our mean reversion tool. When you're looking at some coins, because when a coin like stays pegged like 100 miles above the mean. Where is it? Sheeb. Right. So right now it's coming back towards the mean and bouncing back up to it. But look at this, man. Like that's like a deviation 12 off the mean. There's the mean, and that's 12 deviation off the mean. And up here is way beyond whatever that is, 15, 17 off the mean. So it's just not a serious thing. It's not stable. But look, there's some money to be made. Now, do I wish I had been I had a few trades on our bots, the other day, but look, just trading this one in 1 hour, 10%. So, anyway.
Well, that's a different thing. You're trading that with your bots and it's one you want because there's a ton of action going around, lots of volume.
Volatility is my friend.
Yes. So, but as far as, everybody asks me, do you, like hold for the long term? And I'm like, not really, because I just think there's so much volatility. But this would be one that you do not want to hold long term because when you're doing your stuff, it's like you're in and out. And you pocket your 6%, 7, 8, 9, whatever. But you don't care because you're just going off of price behavior on the chart.
Exactly.
So it doesn't even matter what the token is, does.
No.
Who cares?
No.
You're just trading on
behavior. My system books, everything on Binance that had more than 5 million in volume in the last 24 hours, right? So I don't care what the coins are. All I care about is that people are emotional and they still react emotionally to dips. And those give me opportunities to buy and catch the bounce. And that's all I do with the bots.
That's the one. Is that the bot where you, if I remember right, didn't you like beat the BTC hold? Like,
oh, yeah, totally.
By like 700%.
Exactly.
From like
during the bull market. Even during the bull, we were blowing it away. Now, that's compounding trade sizes and managing it and doing some DCAs occasionally when things went a little awry. But we far outpaced buy and hold magnificently.
That's the difference between like, holding and trading.
Yeah.
But when you're running it through that platform, you might want to say what that is in a bit, but it takes all the emotion out of it.
That's right.
You don't have to figure anything out. You just program the bots and let it go.
Yeah, you guys want this. The web address is right now on the screen. This is our company, Material Indicators, materialindicators.com. This is our MTF mean reversion indicator. I am a horrible swing trader. I am not a scalper. I need things automated, and I need my emotions out of the way. And so that's why I love this tool that our team created. So anyway, thanks for helping me. Thanks for helping me shill that, Joe.
No, but also I was, absolutely. No, I hang in your Telegram channel a lot, not contributing much, but kind of lurking in there. And there's some heavy hitters in that channel that have awesome strategies. And if you really want to get into like trading, perps and really with the big boys, you want to jump in there and just kind of absorb for a few months what's going on. Yeah. And you get tons of free alpha from other users. But you can't go in there and post stupid things, and you can't ask stupid questions.
They'll kick your ass out.
They'll ban you in a second.
Exactly.
So it's like, and you can't be a dick either. That's the other thing you get banned for. Yep. So, go in, but you'll learn a ton in there, and then you can subscribe if you want or not. I don't do the tradings like this. So
look at how nice Sheep was hanging on the mean. Right. So what does it tell you when it really peaks up over that? Somebody was pumping the hell out of this coin, right? When it starts breaking away from the mean and really stays up there in these high deviations, it's a good sign that there's a concerted effort to pump the price.
Yeah.
Look at that. Holy shit.
Yeah. And what's cool about your strategy, if I'm not mistaken, aren't you pulling it off the dips? Like when it dips, you're buying?
Oh, yeah. That's the whole thing. It takes it. Look, the reason I love this indicator more than almost any other indicator, more than any other indicator for me personally, is because it plays on the psychology and the emotions of trading, right? Essentially, it works off the basis of when people panic, our indicator fires because there's a significant sharp dip and it's way off the current mean of price. And the assumption is that price always comes back to the mean. Right. So, and when there's a sharp dip, there's usually a sharp bounce because people panic and those people come back in or other people come back in. And so what happens is you get that signal, people panic, you buy, and all the people coming back in push your price back up. You do nice conservative take profits. I usually trade at 1.25% to 2.5% take profit. And I'm usually in and out of the trade at max in a couple of hours. Every now and then one goes for a couple of days, but for the most part, anyway, this line up here is above a 22 deviation off the mean. So that's some significant stuff. That's crazy. Yeah,
so that bot might be firing soon.
I think we're going to see it. I think we may see it. Like there was one here recently. It did hit. Here we go. Right. So it is coming back to it. It went up. It pumped off this panic. And everybody bought back in like, oh, holy crap, it's on sale. And, buying on that panic is a 12.5% gain in 59 minutes. So,
anyway. See, what I also like about this is, this kind of strategy, since it's, you're not really looking at the fundamentals of, say, the company, if that's the right word.
Yep.
It's like it could be used in foreign exchange trading, energy trading, commodities, all of that. Yep. Because it's not, it's required based on behavior, market behavior, not on anything else. When you look at stocks and equities, that's discounted cash flow. So you're, basically the price of the stock is the NPV of future cash flows. And, that's what the algorithms run at the big investment houses to set price. Right. What changes that? Fucking up a product launch, going into a new market, capturing new revenue, anything that changes cash flow affects that stock price. Yep. But in these spaces, you don't have any of that. Yep. The alpha is, a hurricane took out the refinery and wherever, or it's or something's happening in the EU that makes the currency, we think it's going this direction for a couple of days. It's things like that. Whereas in yours with crypto, it's none of that. Yep. It's just all user behavior, and that's if you trade Musk or something.
Yeah, if you trade stocks too, the indicator works with anything that's in TradingView. So this is GameStop, right? So
Yeah.
this one was a 11.6% gain in 4 hours on a GameStop signal. Tesla used to be pretty volatile and give us a lot of signals. I don't know what it's been like lately. I haven't been looking at stocks lately, but it looks like Tesla's stabilizing pretty decently right now. But it used to be Tesla was a lot of fun, and there were a lot of trades on Tesla. Anyway, let's stop shilling our products. I think we got the point across. Thank you very much for your gracious introduction to the full shill on that.
Absolutely.
What else? There was something else I think you had on your list.
Well, big Doki and Azuki fans and NFTs on that side. So tonight is, I believe, 12 a.m. UTC time is Dokiversary. It's the 1-year anniversary of launching the token. So Azuki Oda is live streaming on Twitch, and then there's going to be this is New York time. It would be, I think that's 8 o'clock or something like that. Tonight is a gachapon machine launching with some commemorative NFTs.
Yeah, that's the videos on the screen right now.
Yeah. So if anybody's interested, I'd recommend checking that out. It deploys on Polygon layer 2. So if you don't have your MetaMask wallet set up already, get that, for Polygon, just add the network in the network side and use the Polygon-RPC address. You can Google those. They're everywhere. They'll tell you. But the big one is Polygon-RPC. And you'll be set up and just move a little into Polygon and, go pull the lever on the gachapon machine. Because these NFTs, I believe, based upon the performance of Seer Light and Tokyo Love, and now I saw Larry N's stuff is moving up. And the Tapioca one was, I think, yesterday. That was some very low mint numbers, like one ones and 3 threes and maybe 2020s. These are going to be high end ones too. So and I just like these guys a lot. And Dokidoki.com, DOKI.com. And I guarantee you it will be the most fun you've ever had getting an NFT, because the machines are a blast. You will be addicted. You will spend far more than you wanted to. So be prepared to load up the wallet before you go. Buy a bunch of Azuki, please. And it's just a blast. And the cool thing is it levels the playing field for everybody. Everybody coming in to buy here doesn't have to have $250,000 to get a really rare NFT. Buy a great artist, right? We've got big, incredible name artists at Doki, and everybody pays the same price. Everybody has the same chance to get a rare one. And the artist doesn't have to go through all the bullshit of listing NFT after NFT after NFT on OpenSea and trying to pump each one and trying to get people interested in it. And they can make a name for themselves with thousands of people who are spinning this machine instead of one-offs, one at a time, people browsing through OpenSea. I love OpenSea, don't get me wrong. I think it needs to stay the secondary marketplace, and people really need to focus on something like Doki, which makes the whole NFT art buying process fair. So absolutely, more egalitarian, gives you an equal shot with anybody. You can't come in and use power of money to corner the market. Everybody has the same shot. I think I think their random number generator, it's Chainlink right now. They're integrated with Chainlink.
Chainlink is keeping it fair.
So that's as stable as it gets.
Exactly.
And if you go to OpenSea, you'll see a couple of collections there at Doki Doki. Well, there's one that says Doki Doki Finance. It doesn't have the verified check next to it, but it is real. It's just all the Polygon listings. So trying to get that fixed, I've heard. The other one, the Doki Doki one, is on layer 1. So you'll see higher prices there. So if you're already on Polygon spinning the machine, go into OpenSea and look at the stuff you like. You'll see a lot of the retro Japan pieces. Super cheap. You'll see, sometimes people sell them cheap because they want to ape into something, just, like we do with the stables. So you get opportunities there. I've done a lot of acquiring in there and selling. And I'll tell you, every one I've bought there, every ones I played in, even like Miguel Durest, his sushi stuff is going up in value, and that is awesome looking. If you check out the animation, it's really, really good. And of course, the chain binders are there too, and Larry N and Tokyo Love, and in Searlight. You know,
Right.
it's just blowing up huge. So they picked the right artist. So I'm telling you, when I did all the Larians, or Tokyo 11 Larian, I think I paid like $18 was the spin price back then. Well, those are all worth a couple $100 now.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Searlight, I think we paid $50 to spin. And those, even the lower tier ones are going for $800 on OpenSea.
Yep.
But that's the layer one side.
So now I've got Sear lights that are now worth that I've got offers on at one ETH at 30, whatever we're at today, $3,500. And I paid, what did I pay on Sear light?
I think we were like 0.25 ETH.
Yeah.
I think ETH was like 1,500 or 1,800 or 2,000 back then.
Yeah. So that's a nice, that's some serious profit.
Return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And soon you'll be able to make your own machine. So artists won't even have to go. Artists won't even have to go through it. It's going to become a marketplace. It's going to be a marketplace of machines, so that now artists can come in, spin up their own machine, mint their NFTs, put them in, and let the world know that they've got them available in the marketplace, which I think will help everybody, right? Everybody can come in together.
Oh, wow. Well, and also, because then you tear down a constraint, which is the guys at Doki Doki curating the artist pipeline.
Yep.
And then the artist have to create it, then Doki Doki's got to mint everything and then load the machines. There's only so many you can do at a time.
Yep.
If now everybody can use this on their own platforms,
yep.
That's going to be and that makes, again, this is not financial advice, but if they're all running on Azuki, let's say, look, how many Azuki are there? Like 23 million, I believe.
Yep.
And and they got burned in there already. Every time you spin that machine, that Azuki is burned.
Yep.
It goes away forever.
Yep.
So the more people spinning machines, that pool of Azuki is going to go down fast.
Yep.
To me, I'm a big fan of that token as well.
And Ray's still going to be applying his artistic expertise to the Doki machines. Like he's still going to be curating great artists, bringing them out in kind of project sponsored machines. And they'll have this little icon in the top right. But soon, it'll be a massive marketplace, right? So, they still have to do some policing because you don't want people putting inappropriate machines together, which I'm sure will be one of the first things people try to do. But, they'll be pre-approving machines before they launch out of the gate. So,
yeah. And so where you have that screen up right there, look, guys, that's, I'm sorry, I was looking at the Pranksy machine. That's one that I always forget to mention, but you want to go look at that. It still has stuff in it. And if you look like the top rows are usually 1-1s or 3-3s, and it's some good looking stuff too. I mean, I have like 4 or 5 of those. And I expect that's going to move next.
Yep.
So, the hardest thing about NFTs is buying a real NFT and buying one that you think is going to go up. I mean, art is always subjective, so you buy what you like. But, Doki does a lot of the curating up front for you.
Yep.
So,
and you can now manage all of your collection on Doki Doki. So you can see all of you have on Ethereum. You can see everything you have on Polygon. And then you can actually move your NFTs from L2 from Polygon back to mainnet. So they also now have a play history. I haven't played since he put this out there, I think last week, but then you'll be able to see exactly what you spun, whatever. You'll be able to see what you played and how much you spent and what you got for it, et cetera, et cetera. So it'll be cool that they're offering that as well. So
so it'll kind of show ROI and stuff like that, or you'll be able to calculate that. You got a lot of Sear lights there, buddy.
Yeah, I do. I went hard on that. I like him.
I like these chibis too.
These chibis are awesome. And the great story behind these chibis is that the artist who created these had never was selling on average her art for $50 to $100 on commission, right? People would say, I'll pay you to create this for me or create that for me. She loaded this machine up and I think she cleared, I want to say it was like 75 grand inside of a day, right? So this was life transforming for this woman. Here was an artist who truly was the struggling artist. Whomever she could get to pay her $100 to do art, she would do it. And then she loaded up a machine with her really beautiful work and really got what she earned, what she should earn for it. Right. So to me, that's an awesome story, is that this provides a venue, a community that's already into the kind of art that people do, they're going to pay for it. And the buyers don't feel like they got screwed, and the sellers don't feel like they have to kill themselves. And it's a great two-sided market from my perspective. So.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for those, because, there's pull up like the Doge LR in the crypto chibis, or whatever the highest Doge one is.
Yeah, I don't know what I have.
Do you have a Doge in there?
These, you mean the Titan ones?
No, the crypto chibis. I'm sorry, crypto chibis.
Oh, crypto chibi. So here.
Do you have a Doge?
What
I think it's the yellow ones. The ones you were just talking
about.
Oh,
yeah, that is a Doge. One. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I do have a Doge.
So I'm just surprised that all these Doge fans haven't come in and bought these Doge crypto chibis, because
they probably don't know they exist.
I mean, they're like totally cool looking, and and what is that? Is that a 30-30 mint? I can't remember. What are those? Or 50-50s?
250 on this one.
Okay. So there might be one higher than that has less, but like I have the ETH LR, which is a 30-30. That's listed or has sold on OpenSea for half an ETH.
Right.
So, the thing is that, anybody who's a big tribal person around a particular coin, I think we got, what is in here? Like, it was Doge, ETH, BTC, Yearn, and Tron. Was that
all
right?
The majors.
Sure. Yeah. But, so it's fun. And, honestly, every one of these I've pulled,
Bitcoin.
I've made money on.
Tron.
Yeah. Oh, you have the LR? Was that the LR?
Yeah, that was a Tron. Oh, no, this isn't mine. This is, that's.
Oh, okay.
That's weird. Why is this NFT in this machine? I think she accidentally minted something.
Yeah, well, it's like, got it in the old machine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
And that
Ethereum.
Yeah. So I have the LR on that, which is a 30-30, and that goes for half an ETH, as high as an ETH. So these could be flagships around. For me, if I was a big Doge fan, I would be buying these chibis.
Yeah.
Just because of the quality.
She should do another machine, man. She should do a Sheeb with Doge, with, she should really go after that. I'm gonna tell.
Yeah, it's a good niche.
Yeah, it is.
People like it. So again, that starts at, I think the machine's going down at 8 p.m. New York time tonight. And then the Twitch stream, I think, starts at 8:30 New York time tonight. So check it out if you want to learn more. It's it comes out of Japan, obviously. Yeah. You see a lot of the retro Japan stuff, the pixelated pieces, and the anime, but it also brings in a lot of other types of art, as you could see. So even if you don't like anime or pixelated stuff, you should still go there and look at the other stuff, because you're going to find things you do like. Yeah.
This is the one that was all the cuts out of the original website, along with because I loved the design of their original website. It was so retro and so cool.
Yeah.
And they kept the style, but these were fun things. It was a lot of fun. So
yeah, this way, one of my favorites is Lambo Girl.
Yeah.
And I saw that on OpenSea. It's going for like half an ETH right now. And there's one in the Udoki portfolio too. And nice. I did find out that for anybody who's been thinking about Udoki over on the unic.ly platform, that they're going to be dropping in, I think, a 1-1 from this Dokiversary thing into that collection. So you might want to get in there and get some.
So this is also an interesting play, and this has happened. They did a machine with Sushi and Sushi Swap, and they did a machine with this project Titan. Titan was the project that the Iron Finance debacle where the bank run, and then the community took over Titan, and they wanted to raise some money for marketing and for development, and so they launched a Doki Dagacha machine to sell NFTs around the Titan project, right? So they got Mark Cuban in here, and they've got Elon Musk, because Mark was involved in buying in the project, and they got Elon Musk smoking a joint with the headphones on. And these are great little pixel NFTs that I love. And it sold out, and the project made a nice chunk of cash so they could fund some things, because there was no treasury for that project. It was a community takeover. They had no money to do anything. So it was everybody just volunteering their time. So they did a machine, and it was great. Sushi did a machine. The art was okay. I wasn't overly excited about the NFTs, but the community liked it, and it was a lot of fun. And all the money went to charity, so that was nice. Went to the Haitian COVID relief fund, or Indian COVID relief fund, excuse me. But anyway, so that's another opportunity, is people can come in here and brand a machine for their project and create their own art. So
right, check out the pull up the Miguel Durest machine if you can see those, because this is one that I think is a sleeper right now. He was pretty early on, like maybe the second person.
Yeah, he was like the second or third machine. Yeah, this should have been the sushi machine, the sushi swap machine.
Yeah, look at this. Sushi.
Yeah, those are great. These are awesome.
And I love the bear, the bull one, Otoro bull, and the different Tamago bear. I mean, they're just fun. Yeah. And and that's going up in value too. So I think what happens is people come to the platform looking for the Sear lights, and it's sold out. And then they go to the OpenSea, and then they see all the other collections in one place. And you're kind of like, okay, what's going to go up next? Well, look, I mean, this is so intricate. I mean, the shadow. Look at the shadow in there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So this is super high quality, and it's Miguel Durest, I believe.
Yeah.
So this was like his first kind of big thing too, if I'm not mistaken.
I agree. And I believe it was
the channel. And that's
look how cute that is. That is adorable.
Yeah. How it changed his life too.
Yep.
So it's almost like, I don't know how many. I'm going to go a little deep here on the art history, but I don't know how many people know about Stieglitz and what he did with like George O'Keeffe and Mars and Hartley and a bunch of other artists. He had a gallery in New York City in the 1920s. And he, in teens, 20s, turn of the century, he was a photographer himself. You can see a lot of his work in the National Gallery of Art in D.C., as well as in MoMA in New York. But he curated these artists. So when people came into the gallery, they were all poor, starving artists. Yeah. And, he would basically steer the clients to paintings of people who needed the money to pay their bills and move forward. And so I kind of see this as kind of a 21st century digital kind of Stieglitz gallery play.
That's very cool. Well, Joe, as somebody as into art as you are and has such a good eye, it would seem to me that when the marketplace launches and people can launch their own machines, there'd be a role for somebody like you to curate and bring in artists, right? So seems like that might be a good model. There's a lot of opportunities with Doki Doki, and when the network improves and makes it easy for people to create their own, and there's a full marketplace here, I think we're going to see an even bigger explosion of success for these machines in this project.
Yeah, I kind of, it's interesting you bring that up, because, I look at the Udoki play a lot in the portfolio there, and how you curate that portfolio, or could curate that portfolio, and have made some suggestions. And, some of the stuff is starting to happen. I've always been a big art fan, and to me, I'm not an artist, I'm an MBA, so but I always thought you do stuff that with people you like to be with, and so creativity is something that I very much encourage in my child as well, and and that's Tokyo Love right there. So you look at this, a photography with motion in it and color and palette selection. I mean, it's beautiful stuff. And this is this guy, I don't think he had done much before this machine. No. And, he's starting to blow up. I mean, he's hanging with, some big dogs at Foundation and doing stuff. And, he's bet these artists all hang in the Doki Telegram channel a lot too. So you get a chance to talk to them and get to know them, and they all network amongst themselves. So it's created that sort of Stieglitz effect for these artists. And it's just, there's plenty, you're going to like some, you're not going to like others, but that's what's cool about a gallery. So I encourage everybody to show up at 8 or a little bit earlier, so you make sure you're ready to go and just see what happens. it's a fun experience.
Awesome.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Anything else?
No, I think we ran on long today, but I had fun. That was awesome.
Well, now these listeners know what our phone calls are all about. So,
yeah, we both turn around and go, holy shit, we started talking 2 hours ago. What the hell?
Yeah. So, but we do a lot of this swapping alpha and just kind of putting our heads together on thoughts and, identifying downside on stuff and then, networking in the space to talk to people. Like, Brad talks to all these founders, CEOs. I talk to a lot of investors and traders, and we just find out what people like, what people are doing, and, do what we want to do from there, which is what you should do.
Yep.
So do what you want to do. Don't do what anybody else is telling you to do.
Exactly.
And I'll leave it on that note, and I'll say, what are we at? All right, we're up above 3,600 on ETH.
Nice.
And BTC is still around 50. I think it says 54.2. And I'm looking at Binance. But yeah, I mean, let's go, Pumptober. Uptober, Cryptober, whatever. We're going to make
exactly.
It this month, so.
I'm all good with that. Love it, man. Have a great afternoon.
All right. See everyone tomorrow. All right.
Bye-bye.